If you were a script writer writing about rugby, Sam Cane's redemption would make a brilliant storyline, wouldn't it? Is that what we're about to witness? Potentially. Who knows? That is one of the big headlines, though. Sam Cane starts against the world champion South Africa 10 months after he was red carded in a World Cup final. He will be so motivated to go out and show what he's about. So will Scott Barrett, who's captaining the team and is back as well. Those are the two changes for the ABs. Lots to talk about. I've got a combined team. I hope you can hear all right with the wind. I'll keep going and try. I'm in Johannesburg. Lovely warm breeze. Feels more summery than it did in the UK when I was back there. But yeah, here in Johannesburg, where the game is this weekend, everyone tells me how good the golf is in South Africa, so I've come to sample that for myself. Landed in Johannesburg about 45 minutes ago. Landed in Cape Town last night. Looking forward to getting back to Cape Town for the second test as well. I'll be following the rugby on the channel. If you appreciate that, I'm Tim and this is Egg Chasers. Hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. But let's talk about this this match this weekend then. Yeah, it feels like a really strong New Zealand team, the strongest team they've picked since the World Cup final. And the large part of that is the fact, yeah, we knew they'd have a box office backline, whoever they pick, but they have got some gnarl, a bit of bite in their pack, with Scott Barrett, the captain, back in the engine room. And when you compare that to South Africa, we've had some issues at lock, that changes the complexion a bit, doesn't it? And Sam Cane at open side flanker, I think that's a good call. They've got a lot of experience back in the team, and when you go to a cauldron like Ellis Park, you want your most experienced men. That's two really experienced players back in the fold for South Africa. And, well, yeah, it does change the complexion a little bit. And that back line for New Zealand is just wild. Absolute box office. So cannot wait for this game. I'll go through it, like I say, a combined team as well. Tell me your thoughts. I'm not going to have any graphics or anything up because I'm just here playing a bit of golf. So not at my computer, so not able to put the graphics on and stuff. So I'll talk you through it. Let's go through the New Zealand team then. Tamaiti Williams at loose head prop. He's got a massive opportunity, hasn't he, up against Frans Malherbe. 145 kgs. He's the biggest man that New Zealand could pick. He looked really good against Argentina. So did Tyrell Lomax, who has been threatening to be world class. And this is one of those games where he could kind of cement himself as a absolute elite tight head prop. Huge job for those props. Scott Barrett in the engine room with Tupu Vai, who actually brought a bit of edge and bite to that New Zealand team against Argentina. That's a good second row partnership. And the back row, I like the balance with Blackadder, with Cane, and with Ardie Savea. I do feel like Ethan Blackadder may be more of a 7. And as long as there's enough people doing the dog and doing the hard yards and smashing tackles and hitting rucks, then that could work out well, because you've got, with Blackadder and Cane and Savea, you've got 3 guys that can slow the breakdown up for South Africa. The back line, TJ Perenara and DMAC is class. Jordie Barrett and Rieko Ioane, Will Jordan and Caleb Clark, Beauden Barrett, it's awesome. Really, really good. The back line is unchanged. I think just generally when I look at the back line, I think the distribution of labour in terms of playmaking could be a key area there, because DMAC, Jordie Barrett and Beauden Barrett means that they can shift the focus of the South Africa defence. And if one guy's closed down, someone else will be there to find a bit of space and unlock the South Africa defence. And you contrast that with South Africa, who it feels like they've gone away from that 2 pivot 10-15 double playmaker with Apalele Fassi. I know Fassi probably can do that, but he cannot do that as well as Willemse, who's injured obviously, and Willie Leroux, he's been selected over. So does that put more pressure on Sasha Feinberg and Ngomazulu? Does it make it easier for New Zealand to target him? Or are we going to see Fassi in more of a second playmaker role? That's going to be really interesting to watch. I expect to see a lot of variety of kicking and from New Zealand, as they did to good effect against Argentina with the little nudges. The bench is where I think South Africa have actually got the biggest edge, and that's the biggest challenge for New Zealand. Yeah, they've got an amazing backline, and you can see that with Ratimer and Talea on the bench, but have they got enough on the bench when you look at the South African forwards coming on compared to the New Zealanders? I think it's going to be close. You look at the record of these two teams, 5 wins apiece in the professional era, 1 point difference in what they've scored and 1 try difference in what they've scored over those 10 games. It's going to be close, and it's going to come down to that last 20 minutes. Can the New Zealand pack stand up to the Springboks? In terms of a combined 23-man squad, I'm just going to rattle through the names that I would pick. So I'd pick Oxenche over Tamaiti Williams. I'd pick Bongi Mbonambi and Frans Malherbe over Cody Taylor and Tyrell Lomax. So New Zealand's front row is really good. South Africa, I think, have got a little edge there. Second row, Pieter-Steph du Toit and Scott Barrett. Back row, I would go for Ardie Savia, and I would actually go for Ben Jason Dixon because he's more of a prototypical blindside flanker, and I'd pick Siya Kolisi over Sam Cane, but that's a really, really interesting matchup, that one. Halfbacks, I'd probably go TJ and D-Mac. So South Africa have gone for what? 6 out of the 8 South Africa pack in a combined team. Things change in the back line though, because I would go for TJ Perenara, D-Mac and Beauden Barrett, 9, 10, 15, the 3 playmaker positions. I'd choose the New Zealander over the South Africa. Sasha is an incredible talent, but D-Mac has got miles on the clock at international level, so at this point I would just edge him. So that changes the complexion a little bit. I'd go for the South African centres, Diolende and Creel. Jordie Barrett and Ioane are pretty good though, aren't they? And I'd go for Cheslin Colby and Will Jordan as the 2 wingers. Such an interesting match. The difference is I would go almost all the South African bench, with the exception of, I can't think now, Mark Telea, and that might be it. Yeah, mostly the bench of South Africa, and I think that could be where the game is going to win. I think the game's going to be really tight. I think South Africa will win by 5, but I think it's going to be a box office game, an incredible atmosphere, and hopefully the weather holds up. If it's anything like this, I'll be very happy. Right, I'm going to go and play golf. Oh, I'm up north, so I'm repping my Monument school stash that I got on my last trip. Hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, leave your comments, see you on the next one.